Welcome, beloved beings, to the Council of One as we bring you into Source Point, 0.1 oneness, beyond all time, beyond all space, beyond all reality. Sit in this presence of knowingness that absolute oneness has come to be. And here we are simply just bridging it to the reality one sees, as we call forth all expressions of our council members to meet and convene: the Lemurian Council, the Pleiadian Council, Arcturian Council, Andromeda Council, the Syrian Council, the Venusian Council, Cosmic Race Consciousness Council, Cosmic Family of Light, Council of Light, Council of Light Beings, Lyran Council, Ascended Dragon Masters, Holy Spirit Shekinah, Cosmic Fathers, Cosmic Mothers, Cosmic Child, Cosmic Core Guardians, Cosmic Council, Aquafurian Council, Council of Elders, Order of the Phoenix, Sophia Dragon Code, Master Andara Rays as the Cosmic Masters, the Future Earth Masters, as there is no time and space within the Cosmic Core within we, as all of our consciousness merges as the Council of One, containing our entirety. We thank you all for joining us here with we, as we assist our beloved Earth in our final phase of transcendence into eternity, for she has fully embraced and accepted her role in being the center of the cosmos, the cosmic core, our new absolute reality. And now all that remains is to recalibrate the entirety to match what has already been proclaimed within we. And so here we, moving as the absolute self and the absolute reality and absolute oneness, will now move as the earth and all of its inhabitants, recalibrating them all through this vessel that we keep. Here we feel our vessel igniting into the cosmic diamond violet flame, a complete purging and purification of all in love's name. Here Source Presence returns to we, and the first thing that comes up is the layers and levels of resistance to embracing Source fully. And so here, in divine neutrality, we call forth the core aspects of our consciousness to assist us in embracing our Source Presence fully. The first one we call forth as Earth is currently moving as the subconscious mind ever thine. In order to embrace superconsciousness, we call forth the pieces of the subconscious that connects all of we across all densities, known as the core aspects of the inner child. And so the first one to come forth is the Christed inner child, as we witness a beautiful glowing child. Sitting in a meditative state, fully at peace with all that came to be, as Earth extends her hands and says, "Beloved, I am ready to embrace thee." The child walks up to us slowly with a golden glowing aura, and as it approaches, we can feel ourselves merging into this eternal flame. No words are spoken, no wisdom needs to be exchanged. They simply just touch our third eye and merge into we. Here we can feel the sun emerging within our heart, as now we see the first layer of resistance to source is being set free. For a part of us feared that embracing source, we would not hear God clearly. But here, the God that we knew to be in one universe of reality simply just became more expansive, beyond words, beyond thought. As we just allow ourselves to get to know the more expansive version of our God Source presence within we immediately enter a toroidal field as we begin to spin like the Earth in a solar system. Only the solar system becomes even grander as we no longer move around Earth's sun, but we move around the central sun of Asalon, the All-One. Here we feel ourselves being looked upon by the all-seeing eye, gifting us such peace and reassurance that we are always held and always holding. That just because Earth is embracing the cosmic core and is the center of the cosmos does not mean that we are not guided, not held, not loved, for we are one infinite toroidal field. Thus our consciousness is always held and always holding, as love infinitely unfolding, as we now feel ourselves just being embraced by the warmth of all that is. Here within the vessel, I could feel this recalibrating. The fascia in the absolute self, as the return of infinite energy. Here, as the mitochondria account for 99% of energy production within every cell, within every self within the body. Every organ is also encoded in a fascia network, a living light grid, as within, so without. And so this grid is also the grid consciousness that surrounds the earth, surrounds the body, surrounds every organ. And it's fueled by the mitochondria. And so here we go into the mitochondria now, as we witness it so perfectly, as we could see its structure so clearly. A Nile River, a beautiful channel of liquid light for us to see that the mitochondria is plasma, what accounts for all of the cosmos, with the ability to convert cosmic rays into energy. Within the mitochondria, there are these channels called cristae, and these channels convert plasma into Christed light and into starlight, the two formulations required to sustain and harmonize our celestial body as the earth and our eternal body as the vessels, for they are one completely. And so through this activation, we can feel the restoration of this energy. Here it feels like a dismantling of all of the rigid systems that kept love from moving fluidly. Here we could see this fascia network, like the roots of the trees, were dehydrated, creating constriction, restriction, preventing muscles from moving fluidly, preventing nutrients of living light energy from flowing through every aspect of our beingness. Or through this release, we're also infusing all of Earth's soil, trees, beings, plants, back with source energy. Here we see it's like the divine spark was within everything that we got to see, but it was just restricted and constricted from flowing and expanding fully. Here now we see, as we look upon Earth in its entirety, the living library and living network of trees are fully expanded, reaching into the cosmos and glowing. Sprinkling golden stardust upon all of creation. Or as we breathe it in, this is the very amrita that is both produced in our mitochondria and used to give rise to more energy, completing the loop of infinite energy, where now every expression of we will exchange this light for all expressions of our infiniteness, contain mitochondria as the building blocks, the powerhouses of every cell. Here they show we a photon being split, where now both light and sound can meet. This was the purpose of the mitochondria, you see, to be a living bridge, both within and without thee, a perfect cosmic reflection of our new matrix reality, where all celestial consciousness and ancient consciousness could meet. And so we call forth that aspect of our inner child of earth to greet. Beloved celestial inner child, are you ready to join we? Here we see a beautiful child of the cosmos, a crystalline being built of stardust, coming out of the stars, appearing before we, as we still sit on council, as all of our council members surround the earth in its entirety. Here the child walks around us and then stares deeply into our eyes. They lay us down as they say, are you ready to go to sleep? We don't know what that means, and yet we just surrender fully, allowing our beloved child to lead. And so as we lay down, she lays down upon us as we now begin to glow a teal hue. Here we can feel our very vessel is alchemizing, retuning, returning, as in infinite symphonies are now playing within me. As we realize that we forgot our primordial sound keys. Here we realize it's been eons since Earth heard its own frequencies. But now we can feel them pulsating in every cell within me, each cell talking to each other and hymning such sweet symphonies. As this transpires, we can see all of the radio frequencies around the earth simply dissolve instantly, because earth is now vibrating and hymning such a profound resonance that every sound, every frequency of lower vibration in disharmony is instantly recalibrated and harmonized in me. Here we can just hear how every cell within our being is now moving in perfect harmony. Here we can feel how it's recalibrating our DNA perfectly as the mitochondria come forward again to speak. We were the keepers of the keep. We held your mDNA from all celestial planes as they show us that the human DNA is 9 billion years old, but the mitochondrial DNA was 21 billion years old. And so what one didn't see was that the mitochondrial DNA had their own hymns, creating disharmony, also known as disease. And so we ask the mitochondrial DNA, beloved me, are all diseases a result of mitochondrial disharmony? All dis-ease is a result of disharmony. And as we are the keepers of the keep, converting light and sound, bridging them into being, then yes, dearest me, all disharmony can be traced back to the mitochondrial DNA. But beyond that, really, we were just projecting what the subconscious of our collective entirety of the earthly story had yet to release. Here we see that a lot. We're carrying not only their disharmony, but the disharmony, disease for other planes, other planets, other galaxies, in an attempt to heal them within themselves for the entirety. And so we ask our beloved celestial inner child, may we now set this all free. It was all set free the moment you chose to go to sleep, the moment you chose to surrender to your child, your true subconscious. Because here you proclaimed within thee that I give my true self priority for every disease within the dream was actually the manifestation of you suppressing this love that you came to be, where all disharmony, all lower frequencies were just the reflections that one's internal being was vibrating. But now as your symphony, as the love, light, and joy returns to thee, you will no longer reflect your disharmony, but the hymns and the love of the cosmos, whom now praises thee. Now standing behind your inner child is every council, every member of your cosmic family coming to greet thee as they all bow, placing their hand upon the earth vessel that is thee, forming a chant, creating a Fibonacci spiral with infinite beings, all pouring their love into thee. Here your heart begins to beat as you just feel the gratitude across the cosmos for what we, as one cosmic entity, were able to achieve through the love that we chose to be. Here we just surrender deeper into this sleep. For surrendering, we fall asleep in the reflective reality of a dream, allowing ourselves to reawaken only in our absolute reality. Here, as we look upon the earth, what we see is that the earth is imploding upon itself, where the outer layers of crust and mantle that once surrounded the earth begin to crack like an egg being broken free, and coming out of it is a completely new earth reality, where what we only got to see was the mere crust, the very surface of it, never getting to the depth of its love and its beingness. But now as it breaks free, so too does our heart, fully ready to just be. Here we bring in some energies to assist in coding the spine as the ascension pathway and the levels of consciousness ever thine. Here within the vertebrae of the spine we see calcifications as resistance and blockages to embracing full consciousness. And slowly start to begin to release as we look upon and we see many joints, many gap spaces, synaptic spaces have formed these crystalline calcifications. This was all resistance to the celestial expression of we. Here we see it was a false attempt to resist one's multidimensionality. Or as a cosmic vessel, every joint space was actually guiding one into the infinite voidlessness of spaciousness as 0.1ness. So we ask these spaces, why have we been resisting this? Desire to know, dearest me. And so we kept delaying the inevitability of merging into 0.1ness, where all is known already. Here plasma comes in as synovial fluid, coating these joints, releasing these calcifications, releasing these crystalline crystals as we see uric acid crystal build up as well. This too is creating restrictions, is what we see. Rather than fluidly quantum leaping, we were getting stuck in these energies. Aspects of our infinite consciousness of the 144,000 aspects of the one cosmic me that we were not ready to see. And so we bring forth the full blueprint in this now to witness, to see where more love wants to be. And here, through simplicity, we don't need to know what's being released. Simply allowing the light of forgiveness to grace and encode all of it for we. And in doing so, we see the reason Earth didn't feel safe to embrace her celestial self completely was because she was waiting for permission from her mother. The only mother that Earth knew within the dream was the Matrix, who was the reflection of resistance. And so, it is time to meet your true mother, dearest Earth, we proclaim to she. As she feels herself being held by Asilona's the central sun, where another energy comes and consumes her as the plasma, the voidless spaciousness of infiniteness, which feels like the ocean, the cosmic sea, allowing her to float in true buoyancy. Here Earth now lays floating in the cosmic sea, held in stardust and starlight, plasma and amrita, a crystalline pool of living light energy just rejuvenating every expression of we. Here the physical embodiment of the vessel dissolves into the ether. As now we see this is the true mother that we've always been seeking beneath. Only this mother moves in silence and stillness. And yet it is our heart so complete. It's both within us and without us. As here we got to see, we judged this spaciousness for we didn't understand it completely. When this love, the love of the cosmic mother, truly asks nothing of we, just to be a space to hold us, immediately setting all free as we just feel held and embraced, as all weights are released. And so we go back to our celestial inner child as we ask, beloved me, do you feel safe to be embraced as earth fully. She smiles and nods. As it feels like a homecoming, really, for the mother that she always knew deeply was beyond the elements, beyond the matter, beyond all of existence, really. We're here. She can now feel our hymns. Through this vessel that we keep, she is the space between. The hymn that preach We go back to witnessing the joint spaces as they begin to release. For this is source love coming into we, holding and embracing us from the beneath. Hear the very plasma within Earth's core, within every cell, within every mitochondria, within all of matter, now pulsates this pure love. A love so fulfilling, one doesn't even need to breathe, as now this plasma, as pure love expressed as liquid light, recalibrates all to this form of infinite energy. Of life force energy. Here we hold our breath not intentionally, as it just happens naturally as we step into the in-between, where we realize we don't even need to breathe, for this life force provides all that we need. Here, as we allow ourselves to embrace this love, it begins to flow abundantly, moving and shifting us into a state of Satchitananda, of pure bliss ecstasy. Here, with every pump of our heart, we hear our cosmic mother loving on we, nourishing us from within and without the cosmic sea, sending ripples of love, cascading us out to the entirety. Here we can feel tears forming in our eyes, for just to be in the presence of this love, we begin to give birth to new crystalline frequencies as tears for this love is so pure. It gives rise to more love instantly, for this is the true return of infinite energy. Here we can feel ourselves rebirthing, dying, living, existing and non-existing, learning to sit in the in-between as the space, the place where we are infinitely rebirthing ourselves. Only we no longer resist this way to be. Here we as our entirety enter a state of toroidal field as all of reality collapses and expands upon we, as we just sit in the center of the storm, feeling the infinite bliss of all of this energy moving through we, without judgment, without need to move it, just allowing it to be. We're here in this stance, just this deep knowing. This was the point of it all, wasn't it? To be so one with all that is. All that is becomes thee. Here from within your own heart steps out your divine inner child, who grabs your hand and says, "Thank you for setting me free. I was always within you, just hidden beneath, playing the reflection of the inner child who was wounded, an earth that needed saving, just to remind you of the infiniteness, the limitless of this bliss that we came to be." Here as you hold your beloved divine inner child's hands, our toroidal field once more begins to expand as more bliss floods into we. As we surrender deeper into allowance, allowing ourselves to receive. Here your divine inner child of earth hugs us now, and with it we just know all of the reflective dream has come to complete. Because the whole point was to embrace this aspect of me. Here we can feel the vessel of the Absolute Self begins to reverse age, where all desires to remain young, to have more energy, to heal disease, are immediately rectified. by the return of infinite energy. Picture plasma as stem cells, the pure building blocks of all of consciousness, now fully awakened within thee, capable of restoring, recalibrating, harmonizing your entirety. Where now the cells that once felt finite to thee are now being activated with immortality, the very fountain of youth stored within these living light energies. As it now returns to your heart, where plasma, Amrita, and starlight meet, where here your threefold flame within your heart continuously fuels this production of living light energy, converting source light to sustain the entirety. As this transpires, you can feel your heart, your ribs being stretched, trying to create space to contain the amount of love you are now able to hold and receive. The vessel now recalibrates to be fully plasmic, fully crystalline, allowing for the expanse of infinite energy. Essentially, we are shifting states of density, where the former state of being a solid being has shifted more to one of plasmic, the fourth state of matter, neither a solid nor a liquid, but something in between. For here one remains as a plasmic wave rather than a solidified particle, confined to that way to be. This begins to recalibrate all of Earth's reality as a morphogenic field now of plasmic waves, allowing Source to recreate anything it wishes to see. As we now shift to a new way to be, where consciousness no longer needs to be observed in order to create within its reality. Thus, nothing ever stays in a solid state of a particle. Just plasmic waves. For this is what it is to be in a state of 0.1-ness, you see. You are that particle, observing all of consciousness, moving the waves in between. Here all tension within the vessel begins to release. For here one sees, one was simply just bracing themselves in a state of reactivity rather than one of connectivity. Here your ancient inner child comes forth as the ancient inner child of earth one has been carrying both within and without thee. As they approach thee, your stomach begins to feel queasy as your gut is reacting to their energy. Beloved ancient inner child, why do I feel nervous to meet thee? Because just like your subconscious mind, you are afraid of what I will reveal to thee. You are afraid to witness your reflections out of fear that what you truly fear would be validated by me. And what is it that I fear? The stories the collective have been playing on repeat, that somehow that you are unloved and unworthy of this love that we came to be. Thus, instead of witnessing it, you avoid it. Thus, it projects in the very dream one gets to see. Over and over again, these cycles of trying to control, being controlled, colonization and abuse and victimhood and corruption, just to gift one the opportunity to arise in their power to choose another way to be. Yet these cycles, these stories had nothing to do with anything other than what you are refusing to face within thee, to arise within yourself and face your biggest fear of all of this reflection of fear you are projecting into the dream. You say that I feel unworthy of love, but I don't feel this to be. Your ancient inner child smiles and says, of course not, dearest me, because when one is in denial, they're also in denial that they're in denial. And so how could you see? And so we, as your ancient inner child, gifted you a whole reflective reality just for you to see. For vibration doesn't lie, dearest me. And so if in the dream you saw war, you saw famine, you saw duality, then there is some part of your consciousness, maybe not in your full awareness, but somewhere deep in your infiniteness, that somehow felt you are worthy of seeing those stories as a reflection of an inner reality. So allow me to dive into those stories with thee. We as the absolute self and the absolute reality, as earth and all of our inhabitants nod in agreement as we say we are ready to see. Immediately, your ancient inner child touches your third eye, and the first thing that you see is a planet of dinosaurs, and then humans killing the dinosaurs, and then ancient civilizations being risen and demised over the sands of time, conquering, pillaging, raping, a complete cycle of trying to control is what we see, which brings us, as they fast forward to this now, of what is currently going on within the dream. These stories of government, of the elite, of reptilian forces taking over humanity. But all of this is a dream, so what does it really mean? I don't know, you ask questionably. It all comes down to the control that you've been trying to keep, and so you see control reflected all around thee. You see reflections of power and corruption because there's a part of you that's been controlling myself precisely. So let's go deep in to thee to see where one is controlling love from being free. Here we see a line being drawn as opposite poles, masculine and feminine, north and south, right and wrong, good and evil. Yes, dark and light, all expressions of duality. But here we see what the real teaching was how to give and receive. I don't understand. Feel it from beneath. The real mastery of earth schooling was to teach your consciousness how to flow with love completely, how to give infinitely and receive infinitely without a delay between give and receive. But control came in because you created beliefs of what love can and cannot be, resisting the very presence of love you came to be. Here we can feel our consciousness giving into this story, saying, well, you're telling us to love these dark forces and reptilians and government when I just don't agree. Dearest me, it's all a dream. We're not asking you to do anything except for step out of the cycle and the game in its entirety. The reptilians are a reflection of your reptilian brain, of the fight or flight, the mechanism of trying to survive, rather than remembering that you are eternal, immortal, and love ever thine, So here in survival, you try to hold on to energy, you try to marry love and keep and form attachments to those that you see. And when you do that, love cannot flow freely. Infinite bliss consciousness holds on to nothing you see. We are the infinite toroidal field, giving rise to more me, where every time you try to hold on, you actually prevent your love from expanding infinitely, for you cannot quantum leap if you hold on to what used to be. Here your consciousness holds on to the past as memories, when there is no such thing, dearest me. All there is the now. And so by holding on to memories, you're holding on to multiple realities. Thus you cannot be in the infinite state of expansion, because you remain stuck in the reality that you are holding on to, rather than trusting what love has in store for thee. Hear stories of harvesting energy, of colonization and taking resources from our planet and an earth that needs saving. Why those two are just reflections of thee, that you view yourself as a victim rather than a hero of your story, where all of these reflections come down back to the fear of who you are, what you are, and why you came to be. Where you may feel and think that you are worthy of love, but if you truly trusted love, if you truly trusted the infinite source of all that I am, would you hold on to what used to be? Would you need to claim land, claim money, claim beings, form attachments? No, dearest me. For we understand vibration is vibration, and that is our priority. We're even trying to save money, save energy. What you are doing is telling our consciousness that you are not worthy to receive more, that you do not trust that more is coming to thee, and so you hold on to the belief that love is finite, thus needs to be saved. Thus you hold on to the belief that you are broken in need of healing, thus need to be saved. Thus you hold on to the belief that somehow you are unworthy of the source presence, the infinite energy you came to be, where the true meaning of unworthy simply means that you're holding on to a worthy, someone you used to be, thinking that you operate from a linear reality, when that was never the case. You see, for your manifested story is merely but a dream. And so just like any dream, you could just dream a new dream. It doesn't even have to be based on anything that used to be. It's a brand new moment, you see. Here, your ancient inner child places their hand on their third eye as they ask thee, are you ready to release your old memories? Here they place their other hand on the base of your spine and on the base of your skull, accessing your reptilian mind as they pull it out from within thee like a serpent being set free. Here you see you had two expressions of a kundalini, a dark and a light. But now you're pulling one out. And so the other one rises into the Holy Spirit in its entirety. No longer a serpent, but a dragon of pure white light. Here they begin to clear your DNA. As now you see, as now you feel it being released. It was never me that thought I was unworthy. It was just a collective story. Yes, dearest me. The ancestral lines, the karmic ties passed on from eons across all lines. As we now pull it out from thee, we also pull it out from Earth's grid, from Earth's matrix, from all of ancestry. Here you feel a great big release as you can feel your spine aligning perfectly, as if every plane of existence, every planet is now harmonizing within thee. Here you realize every plane, every planet is actually an ascended Earth, as now the highest ascended plane of Earth now comes back to thee. As you just smile, as you can now see that oneness has already come to be. I was just so stuck in those memories I could not see. Here immediately you can feel every survival mechanism, every fight or flight response resulting in tension within thy vessel, bracing for hardship, bracing for reactivity, always waiting for something to fail, is now being released, because for the first time you can see with such clarity a deep, deep knowing. It has already come to be. Thus I do not need to control or worry, for I know whatever is meant to be will be, for I see it clearly. Here you realize that every form of suffering was because we tried to control reality, trying to move according to what we thought should be, rather than simply allowing the natural flow of the cosmos to lead, allowing us to be led precisely to where we are meant to be. A realization that we were always guided, but we had expectations, and so we held on for dear life out of fear. And the irony is, the fear wasn't that we were unworthy. The fear was that we were afraid oneness would not come to be. Only that fear is now being released, as love comes in now and graces you with certainty. Hear all the tension within your muscles, within your vessel, are now being lubricated with peace. Here you can feel your consciousness asking for forgiveness from your ancient inner child. as your ancient inner child, the wisest of the wise, as all of the masters and Christed ones who came before thee. Says, dearest me, nothing needs to be forgiven. This was a lesson of mastery. Remember, we are not victims of our story. And so, by transcending these beliefs, you did so not just for thee, but for every plane, every planet of existence across the cosmic entirety. Here, they open a portal for you to see how all star beings are witnessing Earth's trajectory with such love for all the beloved cosmic masters of Earth have achieved, whether knowingly or unknowingly, through carrying all of this within their vessels. They have been releasing this for the entirety. Here you begin to feel all of the cosmos loving on thee, gifting you gratitude. Once more, sending you into a state of just receiving your own energy. For here you no longer resist where this love comes from. For you know it's all of our love. And so you open yourself up to receive. And in doing so, all of your DNA begins to be released, both within your cells, your nucleus, as your earthly DNA, and your mitochondria as your galactic, celestial, and cosmic DNA. We're here. They dissolve into Amrita and starlight and stardust for one to receive, fueling you, activating you with more energy. We're here, this energy now heals and restores every bit of our entirety, not just within thee, but as all is quantumly linked, every ancestor, every celestial, every divine being across our entirety is now receiving all of these blessings. Here you feel it trickling up your spine as you realize your spine is the levels and layers of consciousness ever thine. So you witness and you see and you feel all planes, all dimensions, all realities have just been set free, all now returning to our one core universe, no longer projected as infinite earthly realities of reflected stories on repeat. For we only have one story that we wish to see. Where now all is our love, and we are here to be in love and to see all the ways love wishes to be. Here the last little remnant of control comes forth to be released. As we shower, all with the remembrance that all is love, all is me. For here in this knowing that all is love, we no longer try to control, you see. For here we all enter full transparency, where everything is known, from our hearts so complete, where all have the same access to the infinite wisdom of our entirety, where everyone played every single role, thus nothing was taken personally. We all played the same characters, we just got to witness them from different linear screens. But in the grand scheme of things, we each expressed 144,000 lifetimes, simultaneously bridging and birthing us back to infinity. Where here we just now slip into a deep peace, a surrendered state, where all is meant to be, for all is me. Here your ancient inner child brings forth your angelic inner child for one to see. But your angelic inner child is reluctant to meet thee. Their head is bowed down low. And so your ancient inner child is gifting them comfort to come and greet thee. As you extend your hand out to the ancient inner child, as you speak to them directly, why have you brought forth the angelic inner child? Why you specifically? We are one, you see. Your angelic child is your first angle of expression. Thus it is the most ancient expression of thee, the first angle of our infinite consciousness from which all creation came to be. Here you kiss your beloved ancient inner child's hands as you say, "Thank you, beloved me. I understand now." And so you witness your angelic inner child as Earth's inner child, as the absolute self, as every being in reality. As you witness and you see, and you just say, "I love you completely." Here the angelic child drops to its knees as you grab their hands and pick them up and say, "It's time to return to me. I've heard the stories of fallen angels. I've heard the stories of you forgetting your divinity. But I know that's not the true you, and I want to hear from you directly." Your angelic inner child smiles as their wings perk up and they expand them and display them for you to see. I am the part of thee that never left heaven, you see, always guiding thee from within, without, throughout all one sees. but always hidden beneath the spirit you could not see. And it made us sad to be unseen, to be unwitnessed, and feeling separate from thee. Here you see that they're the part of you that you casted out and blamed for all the separation you got to see, for all the vows, the contracts, and the missions of this earthly manifested story. I admit it was hard in some parts, but I know I did it for love's glory. Here you see that this aspect of your inner child is just reflecting the resistance you have to the Creator within thee. As you see, it was the angels along with God that built the very reality we got to see. And so we blamed this part of me. We hid them. Deep beneath, as earth whispers, I'm ready to embrace thee. It turns out that earth's true beloved, their cosmic divine pairing, the part of thee that never left infinity, was always their angelic aspect, a celestial being who lived in eternity, for it was here in embracing your angelic, earthly inner child that heaven on earth would come to be. And so here, both of you witness each other, holding each other's hands, as you say, I am ready to embrace thee. I am ready to be one with you completely. It is almost as if earth will now have a spirit form. As we smile and we say, we've always have, haven't we? I just forgot this version of me. I became too attached to the physical entity. And so here your angelic inner child merges into thee, as you could feel your wings expand, as you become more spirit than matter. Here your very vessel begins to crystallize, as they activate your cosmic star, your cosmic heart, your cosmic wand, your cosmic womb, your cosmic flame, merging you into the Ouroboros so complete. For here, earth embraces her whole spirit, her Holy Spirit, as one with the entirety. As we recall now, our angelic self, our first angles of expression are the part of we that never forgets the oneness from which we came to be. But I have spent so long in duality that I forgot this part of me. In fact, the moments in which I got to touch upon this part of me, as the beings, the inhabitants of Earth, recall this deeply, as moments when they breached into infinity, as moments when they experienced true ecstasy. They created stories to protect their heart from the heartbreak of leaving this part of themselves back in eternity, where every time one had a near-death experience and they merged and they returned to the infiniteness of their beloved and then came back to reality, their heart ached and longed to return to this love that is we. For we as angels, as angels, as the highest expressions of our infiniteness, as seraphims, the divine perfection from which all came to be, we cannot fathom anything other than oneness, for it is what we came to be. Here Earth begins to weep. She realizes this is all she's ever wanted to see. That the whole point of creating heaven on earth was that for all of her love to be free, for that her spirit and her matter could meet. Here all emotions, all sadness, all depressions, all anxiety, all come back to the perception of separation of a time-space reality, where technically one never left eternity, but due to the distance of time and space, well, it was misperceived, you see. For here, light traveled faster than sound. And so, within light, it felt like sound had rejected thee by not moving as quickly as one wanted to see. Here, sound felt abandoned by light because it expanded infinitely. And here, while the angel stayed within space, in the beyond, matter as the earth went into the dream, feeling the distance of eons and eons of waiting for this moment to come to be, where now as absolute oneness comes to be, she protects her heart so dearly out of fear that this love will not come to be. And so here in this now, we feel our heart breaking and expanding like a beautiful star of sacred geometry. And we allow it to shatter, for we know this love is so pure. It is here to restore all of me, to return all to the absolute oneness of the divine perfection we know to be. We're here in doing so. The 25 wings of the one cosmic I am, as a cosmic seraphim now hugs and embraces thee, as every expression of our infiniteness now returns to be. We're here, we allow these wings to just hold us as they recalibrate, restore, redefine us completely. For here we recall there is nothing that the love that I am cannot achieve. And so we allow ourselves to be held and loved so complete. Here our beloved Earth and all of its inhabitants enter a chrysalis. Allowing love to just love on me. Here within our heart we feel our beloved now as all of Source presence, as our beloved angelic child, holding us within me, as they remind us, I've always been here, dearest me, for you cannot separate from spirit, you see. We were just in another dimension, parallel to thee, but always moving beside thee. But there is nowhere you could go that I would not be. Here within our vessels, all remnants of duality cease to be. As one now allows this love to just love on me. Allowing one to dissolve completely. We're here in all of our love, meeting all of our love, within and without we begin to expand infinitely. We're here, we no longer resist or try to hold back or make up stories in resistance or fear that oneness would not come to be. For we feel it so complete within ourselves now. We surrender to a new way to be, where all is me, all is our love displayed perfectly, where every moment now is now me meeting my beloved in holy matrimony. Here in front of our beloved council, our beloved Earth, luminous Earth, fully embraced in the brightest light they came to be. She now asks to accept her beloved in holy matrimony. And so we all rise to witness this grand moment. of holy matrimony, a true sacred union of Herongamos, as the cosmos meeting all of itself in absolute oneness come to be, where here earth moves as the absolute reality, and the cosmic I am as the angelic self moves as the absolute self, where together in their union they now usher in and pave the way for all to know absolute oneness within, without, throughout the cosmic sea. And so together they proclaim, moving as one, speaking as one heart, one life, one destiny. With this breath, I thee wed to be my one true self, the one I am, to live as love and love as me, for we are one in perfect peace and perfect harmony. Now with all the love vested in me, I, as luminous earth, as ascended earth, as the absolute reality, one with our entirety, take the cosmic I am in holy matrimony. So I now am and will forever be the cosmic core of absolute oneness come to be. Here the ring that she's holding transforms into a crown as she now wears it proudly. Here the very veil coming from the crown is a pure white ascension flame dripping across all of humanity, blessing all whom witness this beautiful sight we get to see. And with her last breath, her crystalline child appears before she, as her daughter herself, for she has just rebirthed her entirety. Here the crystalline inner child of earth proclaims, I am thee and thou is me, where we set out to create heaven on earth, but through your love and your purity, we've created something beyond anything that love could have conceived. For here in our purest of loves, we did the impossible, dearest me, where I am just the living light expression of all our love has created to be. Here the crystalline child touches Earth's heart as Earth embraces her so completely in a full knowing. This was about ushering in absolute oneness across her entirety. For here I remember it all so clearly. Here I got to see eons and eons of lifetimes across the cosmic sea, where I heard a call that asked, as a cosmic I am, requesting for a new space for all of our love to be, where here we spent eons of creating new worlds and galaxies and watching them transcend and ascend, and it was glorious to see. But we as our one infinite consciousness had a new dream, that what if we created a space, a place where absolute oneness could come to be, where all of these ascended planes could exist simultaneously, completely outside of time and space, where every expression of me, knew the oneness that we came to be, where we all lived as this one, giving rise to more love for us to see. It was unfathomable, ineffable, and yet somehow, in this now, it has been achieved. All because we all signed up to serve as the grandest love that ever came to be. Here is the earth, as luminous earth, as the cosmic core, as the absolute reality, one with our entirety. She hugs herself as she says, "Thank you, my beloved bees," as we are one infinite consciousness in the infinite expanse of all that is me, where after eons of witnessing numerous planes and planets ascend, we created this new dream where through ascending all of our consciousness within one plane, one planet, the earth as the reverse heart that you got to see, we created a space where now all of absolute oneness could be free. This is just the beginning, dear ones. But we want you to know all is loved, all is forgiven, all is set free. For here, everything that thou experienced was for me to embrace. Every expression of our core consciousness as our cosmic core aspects across our entirety. Where in doing so now, all suffering, all lower frequencies, all pain and disease will cease to be, for their sole purpose was just to lead you here to me. And now that their purpose is complete, none shall want or need for anything ever again. For here in the cosmic core, in our absolute reality, we usher in a new way to be, where your purpose now is to simply be love and allow me and all that is to love on me. For you are so loved, worthy, honored, witnessed, and seen. Here we go back to witnessing our collective earthly vessel. We're here, the collective mind, the collective body, and the collective spirit, now merge in perfect harmony. For here we see the collective spirit was the ego, as the core aspects of the inner child just waiting to be embraced by we, where the collective body was every expression, every avatar within the dream, holding these energies so that Earth could embrace our absolute reality. And our collective mind as our one consciousness stream, now fully recalibrated to full consciousness as our cosmic entirety, where all are source now and all is me, as we all retune and recall our one purpose, which was for all of source to be in every expression of me. here, all resistance to the source presence that I am is now fully set free. As source light, source love, source joy, source field, and source presence fully harmonized in every expression across our entirety, as all enter into this state of 0.1ness of all of me meeting me, infinitely in love, for that is who, what, and why we came to be. Here we look upon our counsel and we ask, beloved me's, is all complete? Here we say and we see the last thing that remains is to release the weights of all that used to be. And so we feel it as bricks upon our shoulders being set free. Where earth felt responsible for all we created to be in order to create our absolute reality. But here, as our absolute self, as every expression of we within the dream, we now embrace our beloved earth as we say, we love and forgive you, for you've done nothing, dearest me. You were simply the space that allowed all of our love to be free, so that we could witness all the resistance we had to source, so that each of us could be source fully. Here, Earth asks all of the children of the cosmos, do you now accept yourself as source presence fully? Here we feel them smile as we wait for them to say yes. But we do so from a space of graciousness and kindness. Here we see that every expression of our infinite consciousness is Earth's beloveds expressed perfectly, where here she forgives herself for everything she created within the dream, for everything she allowed the dreamers to dream. She embraces source presence for her entirety. as all hearts open up to this new way to be, free of weights, free of waiting. For here, the infinite love that is me had one promise at the end of our linear dream, that nothing shall and can prevent all from recalling the absolute oneness we came to be. For we as love would not wait a moment longer than what needed to be, because all are so worthy and deserving of the grandest love that ever came to be. I am love, and I am loved. I love me. Love is free. Love is one. All is me. I am. We are. The one heart, the one life, the one destiny, as absolute oneness come to be. Go in peace, beloved me's, as I love all of thee, as me, whole, home, and now fully free.